Yo, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? So I was just checking out Jaron Ennis' interview on Cigar Talk. Shout out to Cigar Talk on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed to Cigar Talk's YouTube channel, man, they do some really good interviews. Shout out to the host. Man, that brother does his thing with the interview game, man. You could tell he's always very knowledgeable of the guy that or the person that he's interviewing. And he just comes off as real genuine, man. And I love his style of interviewing, man. Great questions, very insightful, makes the guest very comfortable and really just speak on things candidly. I really appreciate that. And it was a really good interview. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Jaron Ennis, one of my favorite fighters in the game. One of my top 3, top 5 favorite guys just to watch. You know, his ability and skill set is absolutely phenomenal. It's nothing short of amazing. Just incredible raw ability, athleticism, hand speed, power, foot speed, boxing IQ, his knowledge of the game, coming up in a boxing family, 2 brothers that fought pro. His father was a fighter and who is one of the world-renowned trainers in the game right now. I mean, this guy eat, sleep, and shit and just live boxing and has been doing that his whole life. And somebody like that, even if they didn't have the natural gifts that Jaron Ennis possessed, they would be decent. If you came up how he came up, living and breathing the sport of boxing, even if you wasn't, naturally gifted like Jaron Ennis, you will be decent. You know what I'm saying? You will whoop the average person's ass, no questions. But if you add his background and his history and his upbringing with the fact that he is supremely athletically and just naturally God gifted, it takes it to a whole nother level. Now, of course, we still got to see Jaron Ennis fight the guys that we think are the creme de la creme or the elite level guys in the division, in the sport of boxing. But sometimes, man, when you know, you know. When you watch 3 minutes of film like me, I can watch a guy, man, I just see he got it. You dig what I'm saying? Now, he got to prove it to me. You know what I'm saying? I got to see it. I ain't going to crown him right now. I'm going to tell you what I see, but I ain't going to crown him right now. I want to see him get in there, with the Thurmans and the Ugases and the Virgil Ortiz, the Stanionis, the Connor Beans. I need to see them guys prove it too. You know what I'm saying? The Earl Spencers, the Terrence Crawfords. I got to see that. You feel me? But I know Jaron Ennis is the goods. I know he got it. And I'm just excited and just can't wait to continue to watch his next fight and just to continue to see his journey unfold. But in this interview, he talked about a lot of different things. And I want y'all to really go back and watch that interview and just really, pay attention to it and enjoy it. But I like how he talked about how tough it is to get these big fights that he wanted. And he understands the business. He understands the game. He understands the sport. He said, man, look, I don't think these dudes scared of me. I think some of these dudes, they know what's going on. But at the same time, he understands it's like, bro, it just ain't a good business move for these dudes. It's like, he said he don't even think it's the money. He don't even think it's an issue where it's a lack of resources or money that's keeping these guys out the ring. He just simply think that they're making a business decision where it's like, hey man, this ain't the right business move for me, because if I get in there with Boots, shit could go bad for me in there, and it could potentially derail an opportunity that could come later on. He's saying basically these guys want to take an easier route to get to their goal. And it's funny that he brought that up because I just posted on the Instagram Virgil Ortiz, who is naturally Jaron Boost Ennis' rival by choice of the people, because they both coming up at the same time, both extremely talented fighters. Shout out to Virgil Ortiz as well, from right here in the DFW, man, Grand Prairie, Texas. You dig what I'm saying? You know, they both coming up at the same time, and they both young, both extremely skilled fighters, very talented. And the people want to see that fight. That's a fight that naturally people are calling for. And you see the energy has been different on both sides. Jaron Ennis, he wants the fight. He spoke on that as well. He never shied away from that fight. That's what he want. I just posted something on the Instagram where Virgil Ortiz, an article from Boxing Scene, where Ortiz was like, I don't want to fight for a vacant title. I want Errol Spencer, Terrence Crawford. You feel me? And I understand what that is. It's not saying that, oh, I only want to fight the best. It's not saying that he don't want to fight the best. I get it. I understand where he coming from. And I see what he doing. He ain't pulling one over on me. I see what's going on. He basically saying, look, I want to shoot straight to the top without having to put the real leg work in and see guys like Boost Ennis. Now, keep in mind, the winner out of Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, when they go up in weight, you're going to have to see Jaron Ennis. You're going to have to see Stanionis. You're going to have to see Conor Benn. If he finally step up. Conor Benn been on some bullshit too. And shout out to Virgil Ortiz, man, because his resume is decent for his age and where he been in there with some decent guys. Maurice Hooker, Mean Machine, and he's performed wonderful. You know what I'm saying? Like, wonderfully. He's performed at a very high level. But I see what he's doing. He's saying, I want to go straight to Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, because if I lose to them, it's all good. And I'm going to get paid. But you get in there with Boots and get your ass whooped, it's going to look a little different. People going to respect it because we know what the hell Boots Ennis really is. We see what's going on. But at the same time, it's a difference between losing to Errol Spence and making $3-4 million. Now, mind you, if that fight happened right now in Texas after Errol Spence whoop on Terrence Crawford ass like I think he gonna do, if that fight happened in Texas within the next 2 or 3 fights, it's a big fight. Virgil Ortiz, just off of the gate, he can make $5 million. That's a big fight here in Texas. You know what I'm saying? Cowboy Stadium, huge fight here in Texas. You feel me? So he can make $5 million fucking with Earl. It's a difference between going to fight Earl for legacy belts and all that, and then, you making $5 million minimum, and you get your ass whooped, as opposed to fighting Jaron Boost Ennis right now, and you make $1 million, maybe 1.5, $2 million at the most, and you ain't gonna get the same credit, and you get your ass whooped. It's a difference. So I understand. That's what he's saying. So you see, they're apprehensive on Ortiz and them side. Multiple times I've heard his trainers and the way they was talking like they not ready for that fight right now. But Jaron Ennis said the reason I went to that, I wanted to tie this together, because he said, hey man, they better fight me right now. This the best time to fight me, because the longer they wait, the worse it's gonna get. And I totally agree. If you look at the way Jaron Boost Ennis has built his career thus far, turned pro at a young age, and look at the activity, this is what stands out. 28 fights. What he got? 26 knockouts? 28 fights. He already got the same amount of fights as Errol Spence. Now, of course, he ain't fought no damn body, but you got to pay attention. The activity, that right there alone helps you hone your craft. Seeing different styles. Even though the level of competition ain't very high, seeing different styles, fighting under the lights, fighting at the pro level, no headgear, putting it all on the line. You know what I'm saying? Putting your record on the line and just getting out there and staying active and always being in shape, always being on go, always training. This dude is a gym rat. He stay in the gym. So mind you, he's 24 years old, already 28-0. Just like Devin Haney. Devin Haney, 23. Now he different. Devin Haney fighting for Undisputed and shit. Devin Haney, 23, 28-0. You see what I'm saying? When you get that activity level, you seen Canelo do the same shit. You get that activity level, it allows you to cultivate your skill set and just build and build and build and build. So when it's time for them big fights, you got a whole hell of a lot of experience. You feel me? So, and you've been through the process. You've been through the training camps. You've been through, you staying in shape. You staying you've been through the process. You know how to prepare. You know how to get ready. So what Jaron Ennis is doing and how he's been built, like he said, the brother in the interview, he mentioned this. He said, you took the stairs. You didn't take the elevator. You took the stairs. He went the long route. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to fight as many times as I can. I'm going to fight every chance I get so I can keep building up. And like Jaron Ennis said, the longer they wait, the worse it's going to get because this dude ain't doing nothing but getting better. By the time he get in there with a top guy, hopefully is next. I want to see the Keith Thurman fight next. We'll see what Keith Thurman do. I heard he want $10 million. I don't know how true that is. I'm hoping Keith Thurman, you know what I'm saying, let his nuts hang, man, and really, get that young boy the smoke that he asking for. We got Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford handling real big boy business. You feel me? So hopefully if Keith Thurman won't in on that big boy business, he need to let his nuts hang, man, and get that young boy that smoke that he looking for. You dig what I'm saying? But, Jaron Ennis, man, by the time he do get in there with that big name, he be 29, 30-0. You feel me? And ready, confident, strong, in his athletic peak. And just continuing to learn mentally, increasing his boxing IQ, increasing his experience overall, and just becoming a better fighter. So I agree with him 100%. The longer these guys wait, the worse it's going to be for them. Boots when he get up to 35 fights, man, this dude going to be scary, man. He already scary. But 35 fights, 40 fights, he been fucked around and had 40 fights. He ain't nothing but 28 years old. You know what I'm saying? He 28. He got 40 fights already. You dig what I'm saying? 35, 40 fights, 28 years old. So the longer these dudes wait, man, the worse it's going to get for them. And, I can't wait to see Jaron Ennis get in there with the guys that I want to see him fight. He did say this. He said that the only two options for him in his mind, because he's already factored out Virgil Ortiz. He factored out Conor Benn. Conor Benn don't want no smoke with nobody. We know what he doing. You know what I'm saying? He said, the only two guys, Keith Thurman, that's the number one option. And then Imantas Stanionis. And I would love to see those fights. Either one of them. I really want the Keith Thurman fight. But, man, I'm a huge fan of Imantas Stanionis. And I think he going to test Jaron Ennis. You know what I'm saying? I think, of course I favor Jaron Ennis in that fight. But that's a good ass fight, cause Imantas Stanionis, that motherfucker not finna go in there and just fold. You feel me? So, and he hungry. So that's a hell of a fight. I would love to see Boots Ennis versus Stanionis if Keith Thurman, don't go ahead and do what he supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? But y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. If y'all did watch the interview, what did y'all think? What are y'all thoughts? What are your thoughts about Jaron Ennis saying the only two options is Keith Thurman and Stanionis? He's serious about that. Also, what are your thoughts on, like he said, man, the longer they wait, the harder, the worse it's going to get for him, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Contender regime boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.